I just bought a Dell Optiplex 3050 and I'm trying to work out what is the best operating system to put on it. And today I'm going to look at Zima. If you've seen my Replace Netflix series, I used the Casa OS to do a lot of the installs. Casa OS and Zima, made by the same company. The difference is that Casa OS is a overlay operating system, a Docker container management type interface that you would install Linux operating system and then you install Casa OS. Whereas Zima is a bare metal operating system, meaning you flash it to a drive and it will be the operating system of the device. That's kind of the two big differences between those. It's made by a company, IceWhale. I think they started as a single board computer on Kickstarter, and they have expanded out into full-scale NASs and everything. They have a free version. I am running the free version right now. If you've got, and the key point to this is if you've got 4 disks or less, you only need to use the free version. I don't see a lot of differences in the paid. However, they have a $29 lifetime license. It's not that much, but I would say if you were going to run this on a larger computer where you can chuck a whole lot of hard drives in, might be worth looking at Zima paid. In my case, it's just an Optiplex. There's 1 drive in it using free. Installation, their documentation's really good. Like, the documentation is very good. Installation, guide, step by step. Balena etcher onto a USB, plug the USB in, step, step, step. It's like 5 or 6 clicks and it's done. Install was incredibly fast, incredibly simple. If you're a beginner, Zima is fantastic for that. Be aware, once you've got it on the box, you can't just plug a monitor in and run it. It has to run over a network, but it spins up really quick. I was surprised how fast I got it running. So what are the kind of the functions of it? It has a built-in Docker container app store, very, very much like the Casa OS. And it's all very straightforward, like one-click install type things. Jellyfin, Home Assistant. If you want to just make this as a downloader tool, chuck it on a VPN and just let it do all of the downloads and management of stuff, it's a great option. But it's a big app store. And I know these are Dockerized. The containers, I'm calling them apps because it really feels like it's been built as an app store. Really simple, basic, really nothing to screw around with. I do find that unlike Unraid, when you're installing applications, it doesn't seem to automatically manage ports well. So you may have to do some port management, and that seems to be a little bit of a quirk. Happy to be proven wrong on that. I'll get to the files in a sec. They do have virtualization. So if you want to run virtual machines in here, 1-click install, download, run. Very clean and simple. I should say, as far as hardware goes, I mean, there's nothing running on this machine. It's just basically plugged in, but it's using 1 watt of power. So it is very, very light to run. It's using 10% of the RAM. I mean, so what's that? 1 gig RAM, which is pretty good. I only have an 8 gig RAM stick in there. So this seems like if you have Zima make hardware. This is the operating system for their hardware. They want to, of course, make it optimized for small stuff, single board computers, NASs. So it seems very built for low spec hardware. So if you don't want to spend much, this looks like a really solid option for you, especially with how easy this UI is. I think they're a hardware company first, software company second, but the long-term goal I imagine with these guys is Synology. It's very much it looks very much of a replacement for a Synology. Buy their box, get the hardware, has all of the bells and whistles. So they're going to be updating, they're going to be adding a lot of stuff. As far as files, and I think this is where the use case of if you want a NAS first, if you want storage management first, this is probably a great option for that. So maybe not an Optiplex because it's hard to expand the drive options. But if you have a second computer and it's got, half a dozen drives, this is a really, really simple option because it excels at file management. So you can see that it's using the storage of the built-in hardware. If I had additional drives, I can create an array or a pool, and it supports RAID 0, meaning it just writes everything. You've got no redundancies, backups. RAID 1, you've got mirroring, so it writes to 1 and 2, so if one fails, you've still got it. RAID 5, it has a parity, so it will write to everything and then create a parity drive, so if you lose one, you can replace. Or it runs as a JBOD, which is just a bunch of disks, which essentially is just a big pool of storage. So it handles storage really well. But if we go into the files, one of the things I like is you can connect multiple different cloud storage services into the one file management tool. Then if you download their client to your computer and your laptop and your phone, you can access all of your files, whether it's the local network, you've got another drive or multiple Google Drives and Dropbox and all of that sort of stuff, all within that one client. So I like that it helps bring everything together. It's very nice. And it also has a migrate function. So if you want to move, let's say you've got, a gig or two in a Google Drive and you want to move that to a local service and you don't want to use the browser because of timeouts and connectivity, this seems to have a better option to moving large files from a cloud storage into a local storage or vice versa. So I think use case, it's very, very focused on being a networked attached storage device. So through their client apps, let's see if I can find. Yeah, so through their client apps on your computer, you can add it as a dedicated network. You can move stuff around, log in remotely. So fully remote is very well solved, which I think that's good. So it's got really good documentation. It's got a really solid community. There's lots of development going on. I would suggest using Zima if you want something simple. You have a box with a couple of drives in it, and you really want to focus on kind of file and storage management. Zima is absolutely the way to go, I think. Be aware, they don't support mixed drive sizes very well. So you are going to be limited by the smallest drive that you have. If you have a 4 terabyte and a 6 terabyte drive and you put them in, both of them are going to be seen as 4 terabyte drives. So you're going to be limited by the smallest drive. So it's something to be aware of, just used same size drives. A very interesting thing they have is an open API. So if you're doing or you want to do any level of development, using your local Zima NAS instance as storage for like a basic web app or a local app you might build through an API, especially if you're using like N8N and you want to sort of hack some stuff together, that's a really nice feature. I really like that. I haven't played with it. I'd love to hear from anyone who has played with it, but really nice feature, Zima. So am I going to put Zima on the Optiplex? I'd say no. I think its power is more for file management. So if you've got a box, ton of externals, a lot of cloud stuff, and you just want to organize it all into one place, that's absolutely the use case for using Zima.